If you're of a certain age, think back to the summer of 1982. And if you're not, think about this. Many critics consider it the best summer for movies ever.
Ronald Reagan was president, Ebony and Ivory was the #1 song, and movie history was being made.
They're here.
Order the double cheese and sausage.
Right here, dude.
Buried alive. Buried alive.
You should see what is happening on set right now. To mark the 30th anniversary of the summer of '82, the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema in Austin, Texas, will recreate it by showing all those blockbuster flicks on their original release dates.
I could watch The Wrath of Kahn any day.
I thought you were going to say I could watch David Edelstein.
I could watch David Edelstein
going,
any day.
I'm reliving my lost youth. I'm haunted by it.
Great stuff. Film critic for both CBS Sunday Morning and New York Magazine. David, a pleasure to have you here.
Good morning. I thank you for haunting me with all the possibilities I felt in '82 in this great year.
Why was '82 so great?
It was the last year, I think, that pretentious, pointy-headed critics like me and the mass audience agreed on everything. I mean, well, almost everything, not Rocky III. But I mean, it was the last time where you had blockbusters that were personal filmmaking, and they weren't sort of machine-tooled. They weren't full of CGI, which makes miracles cheap. It was a wonderful, exhilarating summer.
Why can't Hollywood do that these days? It seems like it has to be the massive blockbuster devoid of personality or the indie film. Well, I mean, so you think it's split right around '82?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much when the corporations and the marketing people got in. And it's a little bit of a cliche, but the fact is they will bring in eight screenwriters to punch up the scripts. The director will be, in a sense, enslaved by the studio executives, who some of them are smart, most of them don't know what they're doing. And so what you get, movies are kind of the same now. Yeah. And CGI really depersonalizes a lot of the effects. If you see E.T., if you see Poltergeist, if you see The Thing, these are really beautifully handcrafted effects in these movies. You mentioned E.T. Steven Spielberg's E.T. What a magnificent film. Well, one of his masterpieces, and again, so personal, about a lonely young boy who's searching for a sign of a benevolent universe that's going to bring people together in a way suburban life doesn't. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous film. And again, the great critic Pauline Kael said, it cleared all the bad thoughts out of your head.
It was a busy year for Spielberg. He storyboarded Poltergeist.
Had his hands all over Poltergeist.
He did. And that put all the bad thoughts back into your head. Because that was the other side of the suburb, you know, built on Native American graveyards and families ripped apart by these supernatural forces that sort of had these zones of horribleness inside their beautiful suburban houses. I mean, it's still a terrifying film.
And then there's Star Trek II, which we talked about. It's this fantastic...
I just want to be able to
It's a sci-fi thriller, but it's about people, and it's a story, right?
Yes, you know, after the sort of logy, reverential first Star Trek movie, which was a real bummer, they got Nicholas Meyer. He came in, he brought Ricardo Montalban with his giant pecs. You know, it was fun. You know, it also was full of awe. It was tragic. I think he single-handedly brought back the Star Trek franchise. Back in the days when franchises we only used for Burger King. See, that's a problem with movies today. Yep. They use franchise. I mean, no one thought of movies as a franchise back then.
And Shatner was so good.
Oh, he made fun of himself, which the guy never does. He's so pompous. But, you know, here was a movie where he was self-deprecating, he was modest, you know, he gave space to all the other actors. It was a beautiful thing, and it's never happened again. We have to get to Rocky III because it was so contentious, and you pity the fool who thinks it's a good movie. Well, you always have to have in the summer a movie by a moron for morons, but it did give us, and it was the same thing repeated that he'd done, but it did give us Mr. T as Clubber Lang, for better or worse, so.
Both David and I were like, Rocky III?
It's the one blight.
But you still leave it on, I think, sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
In the background.
Yeah, I'd rather watch Conan the Barbarian, you know.
Another great one from that year.
Yeah, which Clive James said Arnold Schwarzenegger looked like a condom stuffed with walnuts.
Wow.
You know.
We don't normally end segments on a thought like that, but
Okay,
David
well,
Edelstein.
thank you so much.